CIG have just released the event schedule for Citizencon this year, and spoilers, there's nothing about Squadron 42 just yet. But even if you've already seen it, there's something buried in it you might have missed. Let's take a look. Not only have we got the event schedule, we've also got the map for the arena and the theatre and everything else that goes with it. So, the schedule covering the full 2 days and the map complete with its own redacted area with the details not having been released yet. However, there's some interesting stuff in here I want to take a look at. So let's take a look at the first part of the schedule. Okay, as I've said before, there's nothing in here about Squadron 42, unfortunately, and the first day looking a little bit light. However, it starts off with an update on the engine. So the key part here is we don't have that kind of entering Citizencon story that we've had where they've shown us part of a mission that they then kind of complete as part of their closing down. That's not there. We're going to go straight into a panel at 11 o'clock LA time with the future of Star Engine. It says, from Pixel to Persistent Universe and everything in between, join us as we showcase the power and depth of Star Engine, enabling the seamless scale that push our games to the cutting edge of industry, technology and beyond. So, could be all sorts of things. Hopefully in there we'll get something about server meshing, the state of PES, how they're planning to sort out the replication layer. Plenty of stuff going. 12:30, fix it and fly it. They're talking about the resource management, the engineering side, the stuff that they're telling us is going to revolutionize multi-crew gameplay in the game. This is all of the power and relays and really just giving the engineer a home in ships, and that is going to last for all of an hour. Then at 1:30, for just 30 minutes, the cosplay competition. They're then back at 3 o'clock with Talking Ship. Now, that hour lunch break, what I'm hoping to do is jump in Discord. So a quick plug, if you're looking at watching this, you're not quite sure how you're going to do it or how you're going to spend your time yet, 30 minutes before it starts, so 6:30 UK time, I'm going to start streaming. So if you want to come across, we're going to have some Star Citizen Squadron 42 PU word bingo that you can turn into a drinking game as long as you promise to behave yourselves, and then we can jump in Discord for an hour, have a chat, or I can answer questions and stuff about what we've seen so far. They're picking up at 3 o'clock with what I'm sure most people are looking forward to, which is the new ships, as well as a look at the revamped pipeline. Not sure how I feel about that, because we've seen so much of the pipeline. If there is any game pipeline we know the most about, it is the ship pipeline, because it's been going since the start of the game. It's been revamped a couple of times, so hopefully there'll be something really interesting in that. Otherwise, I feel like they're just kind of padding out time and covering old ground. And then navigating the universe. Now, when I first saw that, I got my hopes up for hopefully a revamped star map coming to the PU, just because the current one we've got is so awful. But reading through, I'm not sure. It says, travel with us to the forefront of navigation with a look at the evolution of UI features that help players view, engage and interact with their surroundings. So this sounds very much like, from the previous digital Citizencon, the bit where Richard Tyra and Chris were talking us through the new interactables, where the names of items around you was popping up, you could pick stuff up, inspect it and all that. But hopefully there'll be something in there about the star map as well. On to day 2, character advancement sounds out a lot like the character customization sort of stuff. Again, I'll be starting half an hour before that, so feel free to come across and join. But it talks about character customization. It talks about outlaw styles on the far frontier, so hopefully a look into Pyro and the sort of NPCs and bad guys and good guys that we'll be encountering there. And much anticipated arrival of diverse hairstyles. Interesting. I'm not sure who's anticipating that, but it certainly isn't me. They're then talking about life in the first person, where they're going to cover a whole bunch of improvements that are coming to first-person gameplay. They're going to talk about combat AI behaviors, overhauled weapon handlings, and basically being able to interact with stuff. So hopefully some big stuff there. If you remember, back at the last physical Citizencon, they actually showed us things like picking clothes up, where the clothes actually reacted, they folded to whatever they were on, and you pulled a tarpaulin off of a NASA rover. So maybe there'll be something like that in there as well. And then after the lunch break, living on the edge, they say, we delve into the living conditions and environments of outlaws and settlers trying to carve out an existence beyond the safety of the UEE, megacorporations, and other confines of 30th century society. So this sounds very much like not abandoned outposts. These are going to be outposts that are very much living, breathing, maybe hostile, maybe friendly, but very much similar to what we saw in the Pyro demo of last year. Then at 4 o'clock, destination adventure. From high up in orbit, down to the surface of our planets, and deep into the underground, UGFs, we delve into the new interactions, missions and gameplay and more coming to Star Citizen Universe on all levels. And then a closing ceremony 45 minutes later. So just looking at the timings, what we can take from that, the biggest segment is actually this one, the one on the future of Star Engine. So hopefully, again, we might see a little bit in there that surprises us. Now, going on to the event map, not a lot in there to surprise. We have community booths, a ride on the Dragonfly, which hopefully is just a photo opportunity and nothing real. We've got a VIP lounge for the VIP guys, general lounge, the fight or flight kind of stage, the theatre where everything's happening, and then this area, which is the one I'm sure will get everyone's attention. C is to be announced. So interesting what that's going to be. No real giveaway from the image, I don't think, having a look, but nothing's really standing out. That could be a bunch of things. I mean, the optimists will say that's going to be the ability to try Squadron 42. Maybe that's Theatres of War. Maybe that's kind of like a mini fight or flight tournament. Something to try out what they've got coming. The real answer is we just don't know until we get a little bit closer or from the floor. Remember that CIG have said that some of the stuff just won't be released on the digital stream. It'll be for people there only. And Theatres of War was very much that back in the day, where they obviously talked about it, but we didn't see any of the gameplay. That was very much for people on site to experience. And that's it. Or so it seems. Now, interestingly, I don't know whether it's intentional or whether they've just let it slip, but there is something hidden in here. And if you notice, there is a little bit of a gap. Now, there's a gap on both, and this one seems pretty categorical. We have venue closes. On this one, the venue is open for a little bit longer. Now, 3 hours is an awful long time to boot people out. If you're saying you're going to do a closing ceremony and boot people out in 45 minutes. You clearly don't need 3 hours. So if you zoom in, and I'm not sure if people are able to see that, you might need to do it on your own. I'm going to link this down in the description, so go and have an immediate look. Hopefully you can see it, but just here in the corner, let's see if I can zoom in. Okay, you'll see just above the 00 here, there is a very faded, but definitely there, 30. Okay, so that looks like there are other bits. Those bits that CIG said they weren't going to talk about, there are other bits that are fitting into there. Now, whether we get to see that on the live stream or not, I really don't know. But there you go. There's other stuff to come. And there's 3 hours in there. Is 3 hours enough to talk about the launch of Squadron 42? Is that going to be more a demo of Theatres of War? Is it going to be showing people Pyro, or maybe even more of a new system that the rest of us will have to wait for the videos for? I don't know. I'm really interested. I want to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Let's talk about it and see what we can come up with. But the bottom line is, if we were expecting something like a massive Squadron 42 launch party with the stars appearing, it really doesn't look like that's going to happen here. Because especially with those sorts of stars, if they were going to then attend like the after party, the VIP bit, you would definitely expect that all to happen on the same day. So I'm really not sold now that we've seen this. But what do you think? Let me know. Are we getting Squadron 42? What's going in that 3-hour gap at the end of day one? You've been watching Drinkers with Gaming Problems. Thank you very much for stopping by. See you soon. Sorry to burst the bubble. Right at the end of the outro, Jake from CIG has just posted on Reddit that little 3-0 was just a misprint. On the upside, I get to find out who watches the videos to the very end. Cheers, guys.